Welcome everybody. And so in today's video we're going to look at some examples about how to build a major scale, and we're going to start with the most basic scale. Now, one of the last videos we talked about, we were looking at the C major scale, and so we sort of understood that the C major scale looks something like this: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. And we talked about that this is the most basic scale. You know, every beginner should learn how to memorize this scale. It's very, very simple to do the C major scale. But we didn't really understand why is it this select of, these particular notes. Why is it C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C? Why is it that those notes were chosen as opposed to C sharp or D sharp or E flat? Okay, so what we're going to do is understand how to build a major scale. And there are two components to do this. Number one, we have to write out our skeleton, and I went ahead and did that. And our skeleton is just the natural notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. No sharps, no flats, nothing fancy, simply the skeleton. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our scale is going to conform exactly to this pattern. And that means we have to have a whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this. And what I want to do is ask myself some questions. And I'm going to go from C to D, and I want to ask myself, is that a whole step? And it is. Is D to E a whole step? And it is. Is E to F a half step? And it turns out it also is. It's a half step. Is F to G a whole step? Yes, it is. Is G to A a whole step? Yes, it is. Is A to B a whole step? Yes, it is. And finally, is B to C a half step? Yes, it is. And so there we have properly built and verified our C major scale. Well, that's all great, but let's see, can we do something a little bit more challenging? And so in this example, we're now going to be looking at the G major scale. So once again, let me write out the skeleton. That's the first step, right? Let's kind of review our steps here. And we can see that our steps are: 1, we write out the skeleton, and 2, we have to confirm that it conforms strictly to whole, half, whole, half. So let's write our skeleton out: G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and back to G. So our skeleton is written out. Now let's go ahead and write out the whole steps and half steps. Whole, half, whole, half. So we can use that for verification. So now we're going to run through the same exact process. I'm going to ask myself some questions. G to A, is that a whole step? Yes, it is. A to B, is that a whole step? Yes, it is. B to C, is that a half step? Yes, it is a half step. C to D, is that a whole step? Yes, it is. D to E, is that a whole step? Yes, it is. E to F, is that a whole step? And it is not a whole step, but it needs to be. So E to F needs to be a whole step. So what can we do to make this a whole step? Well, let's see. First off, let's try putting an E flat here. And so if I have an E flat, then I need to recognize that now E flat to F is a whole step, and it would satisfy this condition. But the problem with that is now I've made this distance incorrect. Now D to E flat is no longer a whole step, it's a half step. So that would be incorrect. And then if I wanted to fix that, then I'd have to go and put a flat over here. And okay, oh, well now this particular distance is a whole step, but now I've made this distance incorrect, and that's wrong. And so we can see that this is going to cause a problem here and here and here, and as we go all the way back, it's just going to kind of ruin all the work that we've done. So we're not going to do that. Our goal here was to try to get this correct, and we realized that the distance from E to F was a little short. It's a half step, and it should be a whole step. And so what we're going to do is we are going to just put a sharp on F. And by doing that now, we have a whole step from E to F sharp, and we also have a half step from F sharp to G, and now we have verified that the G major scale is correct. And so we followed our two-step formula here, and our formula basically said number one, just to review it, one is that we have to write out the skeleton, and number two, we have to verify that it fits the pattern exactly whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. In future videos, we're going to go over more examples regarding how to build a major scale. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you've really enjoyed what you've seen so far, please just go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. It'll help keep us going so we can put out more great content for you.